All right, let's get to the top 10. Here we go. My top 10. I know I teased this on Saturday night on Twitter, but if you haven't seen, here we go. At number 10, I'm going to go with Vanderbilt. So they find themselves in the top 10. They beat LSU, took a part in LSU defense that has been largely one of the better defenses in the country. That's really the first team that has gotten after LSU's defense. So Diego Pavia continues to be a revelation, and everyone's like, man, why did he get an extra year? And by the way, I just love his attitude. Clark Lee has done such a good job at Vanderbilt. He's certainly going to get a huge look, a long look from all of these schools and programs that have openings coming up down the stretch. At number 9, I struggled with this right here. So I know they have 2 losses, but this is a top 10 team. So I've got Notre Dame at 9. And I talked about them already, winning in the fashion that they did, even with their quarterback not playing well. I think that we're all blind if we don't see that Notre Dame is a top 10 team, legitimately. But in order to put them there, Miami can't fall out of the top 10 after the 4-pick game to Beck, so Miami is 8. Again, I struggled with this whole sequence right here. Miami's going to be 8. And here at the end of the day, Jeff Brom does this to somebody every year, that Friday night win, Louisville over Miami. And I don't expect Beck to throw 4 picks every week, and that's what it took for Louisville to win. So that's still a good football team. It really is. And I still think it's a top 10 team. I still think it's the best team in the ACC. So they're only going to fall to 8. Now, the team in the ACC that I have to put ahead of them is a team that has handled their business, and that's Georgia Tech. They beat Duke 27-18. Haynes King, here he goes again, 120 rush yards. He's like the new version of Colin Klein. Remember that year, Optimus Klein at Kansas State? So Georgia Tech is 7. I love the story of Georgia Tech. Like, they've done a great job, and Haynes King is just a man. I love watching that guy play. So they're at 7. Number 6 is a team I've already talked about, Georgia. Hard to kill. We're hard to kill, says Kirby, and I agree. Only one team's been able to do it, and that's Alabama. So Georgia is going to be number 6. That's going to be a tough out. At 5, I also struggled with this, but if I'm being honest with myself and I'm just looking at these teams and I'm just like, rank these teams as like best to worst in 1 through 5. And I had this group of 5 teams. And so, sorry, Aggie fans, but I had to put A&M at the back end of this, and they're going to be number 5. Still top 5 in the country. I was a little concerned about the defense having to survive an ugly game against Arkansas. That is the second straight week, by the way, that we've seen Arkansas come alive on offense. Obviously, Bobby Petrino knows what he's doing on the offensive side. So is that cause for concern? I don't think so. But we'll see coming down the stretch. I do love what they have, though, and they were able to survive some injuries to their backfield and still look potent on the offensive side. Number 4 is going to be Oregon. That was a huge bounce-back win for them after losing at home to Indiana, which we know is a great team. They hammered Rutgers with 415 rushing yards. Rushing yards. Dan Lanning looked at the second half of that film against Indiana, and he thought to himself, nope, that's not how this is going to go. We're going to be a team that can win the line of scrimmage, and they were able to do that. So they took apart Rutgers, a long trip in order to do that. At number 3, I've got Alabama. Again, guys, like, let's look at this Alabama team a little bit differently after these last 4 weeks. And I can remember urging patience at the beginning of the year. I thought that there was a bit of panic with the way that happened, but they've gotten better, and not only gotten better, but they've gotten to be like a great football team. This is a legitimate national championship caliber team. Alabama is going to be number 3. And then my top 2 teams are Indiana and Ohio State. Indiana took care of Michigan State 38-13. Fernando Mendoza continues to be a fantastic quarterback. He might be the first quarterback taken in the NFL draft. And then number 1's Ohio State. They shut out Wisconsin. Carnell Tate has over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. Julian Sayin had almost 400 yards throwing the football. They've allowed 41 points through 7 games. That's the fewest in college football since 1993, that great Florida State defense. This Ohio State defense is one of the best defenses, not just this year, but in a long time. It's up there with the 21 Georgia defense, some of those Bama defenses that were incredible, some of the great defenses in the 90s. Wisconsin had no shot in that game. Now, we know that, and Bama also took apart Wisconsin in a similar fashion, but Bama gave up a couple of scores in that game. And you can say, yeah, there were, mop-up duty scores. That's fine. Ohio State didn't. They went out there and shut them out. 41 total points through 7 college football games. That's an incredible number. Again, fewest since 1993. And then on the offensive side, are they running it great? No, they're not. And they're going to try to go and back and fix that. And I'm sure they're going to do that. But Wisconsin does one thing well, and that's stop the run. Bama knows that. They were able to stop Bama's run game. And they were able to hold in check Ohio State's run game. And I know Ohio State fans are going to complain about that because Buckeye fans tend to focus on the areas where they need to get better, I think is the right way to put it. But that passing game came to life. How about Julian Sayin? And that's quite an answer to be able to just go out there and throw for almost 400 yards. So the teams just on the outside of my top 10 after I finished it, these are the ones that I was thinking about. BYU, that was an incredible win in the Holy War at home over Utah. I picked Utah in that game. BYU came of age at the quarterback position. Bear Bachmeier was tremendous. He is tough. He is gritty. He is BYU. Man, I love watching that guy play. It's still a little bit weird seeing number 47 play the quarterback position, but whatever. That's fine. This is a tough team. Kalani Sitake continues every single year to be a team that just goes out there and performs. Remember, it's just a couple of years removed from this program kind of floundering around in this country as an independent and not finding a home. They find a home in the Big 12, and they've largely dominated the Big 12. This is easily a team that could wind up in the Big 12 championship game, and they're going to be a tough out because of that physicality and their quarterback's grittiness. I'm telling you, you get a quarterback that is competitive and knows how to win football games, and you can go out there and you can win football games. I considered Tech here because I still love Tech, even though they lost to Arizona State, did not have their starting quarterback, Baron Morton, and they were able to come back and take a lead late in that game, but they gave it up. Again, I would just say this. The injury to their defensive tackle, Skylar Gill-Howard, is a big deal. Now, there is news out of Lubbock that they think he could return for the postseason, but he's not going to be back in the regular season, and that's not good for them. And you saw the effects of that because Arizona State was able to be pretty efficient on the offensive side. I considered Missouri in the top 10. I still like Missouri. I considered Oklahoma. That was a good bounce back after the Red River loss. The defense was dominant against South Carolina, only giving up a score. So those are the teams that I considered right there, and they were just outside of my top 10. Again, that BYU was a classic. Kudos to BYU. I love watching BYU play. So my dad was a high school football coach, and the style of play that I grew up watching and then played in high school was similar style, just a rugged, run-oriented, tough, competitive nature. And so that's why I've loved Utah for a long time. You guys have known that. BYU fans hate that I've always loved Utah, and that's fine. But BYU is a good football team, really good football team. And I think one of the better, more underrated coaches in the entire country is Kalani Sitake. That guy is consistent. That team is consistent. That program is consistent. They got grown men over there, and I really love what they were able to do in the Holy War.
Thank you for watching the Joel Klatt Show YouTube channel. And if you liked this clip, make sure to like it and subscribe to the channel, and you can stay up to date on all of my college football coverage.